Welcome back to the NETRUSH Report, your home for the most dramatic, emotional, and thought-provoking stories in world tennis. If you love deep dives into rivalries, records, and revelations behind the sport's biggest names, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because today, we're diving into one of the boldest accusations ever made by Roger Federer, and how it triggered a powerful backlash from inside the ATP Tour itself. It all started with a quiet conversation after the 2025 US Open final. Carlos Alcaraz had just defeated Jannik Sinner, again, to claim his sixth career Grand Slam title. The match was a classic. Long rallies, breathtaking defense, endless endurance battles that had commentators calling it a marathon of youth and precision. But Federer, watching from the stands and reflecting on the evolution of the sport he once ruled, saw something deeper. In an interview days later, he said, "It feels like tournaments are deliberately slowing down court speeds. These conditions reward the younger, athletic players like Alcaraz and Sinner, those who thrive in endless baseline rallies. It's very different from how it used to be." And just like that, the internet exploded. This wasn't Federer talking about forehands or rivalries. This was Federer questioning the system. Fans called it a rare Federer bombshell. Analysts labeled it a coded critique of the ATP's direction. Because Federer wasn't just implying that modern players benefit from the slower conditions. He was hinting that the tournaments are being adjusted to protect certain styles, or even certain stars. Federer's frustration came at a time when Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner have taken complete control of men's tennis. In the past 2 years, they've done something historic, a Grand Slam sweep. Between them, the pair has shared every major title for 2 consecutive seasons. 2024, Australian Open, Sinner. French Open, Alcaraz. Wimbledon, Sinner. US Open, Alcaraz. 2025, the same pattern repeated, only with tighter finals and higher ratings. The media coined the term Sinkeraz era, a modern echo of Fedel. And for many fans, it was exciting. New faces, new energy, new rivalries. But for Federer, the picture wasn't entirely rosy. He hinted that the way courts are being prepared might be tilting the balance toward these younger baseline machines, making life harder for players who rely on quicker, attacking styles. To understand why Federer's comment hit so hard, you have to understand what he represented. For decades, Federer was the symbol of elegant aggression, short points, lightning-quick net approaches, and fluid movement that made tennis feel like art. He grew up in an era where surfaces truly differed. Wimbledon was lightning fast. US Open had bite and pace. Play was slow but predictable. But in the modern ATP era, players and analysts have noticed a trend. Surfaces are becoming more homogeneous. Whether it's Melbourne, Paris, or New York, rallies are longer, topspin dominates, and serve-volley play is almost extinct. Federer's statement, therefore, wasn't random. It was rooted in nostalgia and concern. He seemed to be saying, "We're losing diversity. The sport is becoming one-dimensional." But when he named Alcaraz and Sinner specifically, it turned from a general observation into a targeted controversy. Once the quote went public, reactions poured in like wildfire. Some called Federer's words brave and honest. Others accused him of throwing shade at the next generation. Tennis forums lit up with debates. Is Federer jealous of the new stars? Or is he the only one telling the truth? The sports outlets from ESPN to Eurosport ran special panels analyzing his statement. Former pros like Andy Roddick and Mats Wilander even weighed in, with Roddick saying, "There's always been an evolution in court speeds. But calling it deliberate? That's a stretch." Wilander, on the other hand, sympathized. Federer isn't wrong to notice the trend. The game today rewards defense more than creativity. But the controversy didn't end there. It got bigger when Alexander Zverev stepped in. During the Shanghai Masters, Alexander Zverev, currently ranked world number 3, was asked what he thought about Federer's claim. And surprisingly, Zverev seemed to partly agree with the concern but dismissed the idea of manipulation. He said, "I think court speeds are roughly the same in all tournaments now. Players have told me they feel fast, not slow. Maybe it's about how players adapt rather than how the courts change." That quote caught attention, because Zverev's response, measured, diplomatic, indirectly contradicted Federer's accusation. In fact, Zverev's tone hinted that he saw no conspiracy, just evolution. And then came the statement that silenced the speculation, at least for a moment. The Cincinnati Open director, Todd McGuinness, was asked to respond to Federer's claim that court speeds have been manipulated to favor Alcaraz and Sinner. His reply was direct and cold. Not even close. He elaborated. We've had consistent feedback from players saying the Cincinnati courts feel fast, maybe even too fast at times. Every year, we make sure the surface aligns with ATP standards. No favoritism. No slowdowns. That clear-cut response from a top Masters 1000 event official put pressure back on Federer's argument. Because if a tournament as big as Cincinnati, one of the main US Open tune-ups, maintains a faster surface, then perhaps Federer's theory doesn't hold across the board. So what's the truth? Are courts actually slower now? Or are players just faster and more athletic? Tennis surface speed depends on multiple factors. The type of acrylic paint and grit used, the humidity and temperature, and how the balls interact with the surface. The ATP classifies courts by a pace index. Over the years, tournament organizers have indeed moderated extremes, slowing down very fast courts slightly and speeding up slower ones to create fairer conditions. That's why rallies last longer today, but not necessarily because of bias. Sports scientists suggest that the average rally length in men's matches has increased by about 20% since 2010. But so has athletic endurance. Players now train like track athletes, sliding on hard courts, recovering instantly, extending points. So maybe the courts didn't slow down. Maybe the players got faster. Still, Federer's point wasn't just technical, it was philosophical. He's seen tennis evolve into something hyperphysical. And while he respects Alcaraz and Sinner, he's worried that tennis artistry is dying. In one later interview, Federer clarified, "I love watching Alcaraz and Sinner. They're incredible. But I do think the game needs variety. The fast exchanges, the short points, the creativity. It shouldn't all look the same." That's the essence of Federer's concern. Not jealousy, not criticism, but preservation of diversity. He's advocating for a sport where styles can still clash. Serve and volley versus baseline defense. Power versus touch. And that's something even Federer's critics quietly agree on. Fan responses were intense. Some agreed passionately. Federer's right. Every match feels the same now. Endless rallies, no flair. Others clapped back. He's just nostalgic. The new generation earned their spot. Stop blaming the courts. Social media debates turned tribal. Alcaraz and Sinner fans accused Federer loyalists of refusing to accept change. Meanwhile, purists rallied behind Federer's call for variety. The controversy revealed something deeper, a generational tension. Old-school fans long for the Federer-Nadal-Djokovic triangle, where styles and personalities clashed beautifully. New fans celebrate the raw athleticism of Alcaraz and Sinner, who represent the sport's evolution. It's not just about court speeds. It's about what kind of tennis identity the future will hold. Behind closed doors, several ATP players reportedly had mixed feelings. A few anonymous comments from inside the locker rooms leaked to tennis journalists. Some tournaments feel heavier, yes, but it changes with weather and altitude too. Federer might have a point about homogenization, but not favoritism. If anything, faster courts now benefit aggressive players like Zverev more. So even within the ATP, there's no clear consensus, only recognition that the sport has changed. But changed by design or by necessity? That's the question Federer has forced everyone to confront. Interestingly, both Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner have refused to comment directly on Federer's remarks. When asked during press conferences, they both smiled politely and deflected. Alcaraz said, "I just play wherever I'm told to play. I don't think about surfaces much. I try to adapt." Sinner echoed similar thoughts. "I don't control court speeds. I focus on improving my game." That silence speaks volumes. It shows maturity, but also awareness that any comment could ignite further controversy. Both players respect Federer deeply. They know he's a global ambassador of tennis, and publicly disagreeing might seem disrespectful. But privately, insiders believe they're confident enough to let their results do the talking. Whether Federer is right or not, one thing is clear. Tennis is evolving. Technology, analytics, athlete conditioning. Everything is pushing the game toward longer, more physical contests. Even the balls are different now, with many pros complaining that the new generation of balls fluff up more quickly, slowing down play